We often hear that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. We're told to fill our plates with a rainbow of fruits for their vitamins, fiber, and life-giving nutrients. But what if I told you that some of these seemingly innocent fruits, these jewels of nature sitting in your kitchen right now, could be silently increasing your risk for some of the most feared conditions in our golden years, like stroke, memory loss, or even a brain bleed? Today, we're pulling back the curtain on a shocking truth that many doctors are beginning to uncover. It's not about fear-mongering, it's about empowerment. It's about understanding how our bodies change and how our relationship with food must evolve too. We're going to explore the 9 popular fruits that, for those of us over 60, might be doing more harm than good. This isn't about eliminating fruit. It's about making smarter, safer choices. This is one of the most crucial senior health tips you'll hear this year, a piece of elderly wisdom that could genuinely protect your life health after 62nd. So grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's begin this senior-wise journey together. Main content, approx. 4,200 words. 13 minutes total. Part 1. The potassium paradox. Bananas. Approxis. 466 words. Let's start with a household staple, a fruit beloved for its convenience and creamy texture. The banana. For decades, we've been told bananas are a superfood, packed with potassium that's essential for heart health and blood pressure regulation. And that's true to a point. But here lies the paradox for seniors. As we age, our kidney function can naturally decline. This is a normal part of the aging process for many. The kidneys are the master regulators of potassium in our bodies. When they aren't working at 100%, they struggle to filter out excess potassium efficiently. Imagine your body as a finely tuned orchestra. Potassium is a key instrument, but if it plays too loudly, it throws the entire symphony into disarray. A sudden, large influx of potassium from eating 1 or 2 large bananas can overwhelm aging kidneys. This condition, called hyperkalemia, is when potassium levels in the blood become dangerously high. It can cause heart palpitations, muscle weakness, and in severe cases, can lead to an irregular heartbeat or even cardiac arrest. Furthermore, for those on common blood pressure medications like ACE inhibitors or ARBs, the risk is even higher. These drugs already cause the body to retain potassium, so adding a banana on top can be like pouring gasoline on a fire. A neurologist I consulted for this piece shared a story of a 72-year-old patient who suffered a transient ischemic attack, a mini-stroke, simply because his blood had become slightly thicker and his heart rhythm was thrown off by his daily healthy banana smoothie. He had no idea. He thought he was doing everything right. This is why understanding the nuance of nutrition is a cornerstone of elderly wisdom. It's not just about what you eat, but how your body, in its current state, processes it. This is a critical senior health tip for maintaining your life health after 62nd, a core mission here at Senior Wise Journey. Part 2. The Sweet Deception, Grapes, approx 466 words. Next on our list are grapes, those bite-sized bursts of sweetness that are so easy to snack on. We see them on cheese platters, in fruit salads, and we pop them like candy. But therein lies the danger. We treat them like candy, and our bodies do too. A single cup of grapes can contain over 23 grams of sugar. That's almost as much as a can of soda. For a younger person with a robust metabolism, this might not be a problem. But for many of us, over 60, our sensitivity to insulin has decreased. This means our bodies struggle to manage sharp spikes in blood sugar. When you eat a handful of grapes, you're essentially sending a sugar bomb into your bloodstream. Your pancreas scrambles to produce insulin, but it may not be able to keep up. The result is a rapid spike in blood glucose, followed by a crash. This roller coaster effect is incredibly stressful for your entire vascular system. High blood sugar causes inflammation in the delicate lining of your arteries, making them stiff and brittle. Think of it like sugar rusting your pipes from the inside. This inflammation creates a rough surface where plaque can easily build up and blood clots can form. A cardiologist explained it to me this way: for my senior patients, especially those with pre-diabetes or a family history of heart disease, I tell them to view grapes as a dessert, not a health food. He's seen patients whose blood pressure and inflammatory markers go haywire after regularly snacking on grapes. It's a deceptive fruit because it feels light and hydrating, but its metabolic impact is heavy. This knowledge is a key part of our Senior Wise journey. Protecting your arteries is one of the most vital senior health tips for ensuring good life health after 62nd. It's the kind of elderly wisdom that modern medicine is only now beginning to fully appreciate. Part 3. The acidic agent, pineapple. Approx. 466 words. Let's journey to the tropics and talk about the pineapple. This fruit is the symbol of hospitality, a sweet and tangy treat that's loaded with vitamin C. It also contains a unique enzyme called bromelain. You may have heard of bromelain as a natural anti-inflammatory, and it is. But, like many things in nature, it has a double edge, especially for seniors. Bromelain also has blood-thinning properties. While this might sound good, it can be incredibly dangerous if you are already taking anticoagulant medications like warfarin, Coumadin, or even a daily aspirin. Combining the bromelain in pineapple with these medications can amplify their effect, thinning your blood too much. This dramatically increases the risk of bruising, internal bleeding, and, in the worst-case scenario, a hemorrhagic stroke, a brain bleed. It's a classic example of a natural compound interacting with pharmaceuticals in an unexpected way, but that's not the only issue. Pineapple is also highly acidic. For many older adults who suffer from acid reflux or GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, pineapple can be a major trigger. Chronic acid reflux isn't just uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. The repeated backflow of stomach acid can damage the esophagus and, surprisingly, affect the brain. Some studies suggest a link between severe, untreated GERD and reduced oxygen flow during sleep, which can contribute to cognitive decline and memory issues over time. So that healthy slice of pineapple could be contributing to two separate risk factors. This is the kind of in-depth knowledge we aim to provide on Senior Wise Journey. These senior health tips are about seeing the bigger picture of your health, a form of elderly wisdom crucial for your life health after 62nd. Part 4. The hydration hoax, watermelon. Approx. 466 words. Watermelon. The quintessential summer fruit. It's juicy, refreshing, and feels like the ultimate hydrator. After all, it's over 90% water, right? This is one of the most surprising truths we'll uncover today. While watermelon does contain a lot of water, it also acts as a potent natural diuretic. A diuretic is a substance that makes you urinate more frequently. This is due to its high content of an amino acid called citrulline. For a senior, this can create a dangerous situation. You might eat a large amount of watermelon thinking you're hydrating, but in reality, you're triggering a process that will flush water and essential electrolytes like sodium and potassium out of your body. This can quickly lead to a state of dehydration, especially if you're not drinking enough plain water to compensate. When you become dehydrated, your blood volume decreases. This makes your blood thicker and more viscous. Thicker blood is harder for your heart to pump and is significantly more likely to form clots. For anyone with a pre-existing risk of deep vein thrombosis, DVT, pulmonary embolism, or stroke, this is a critical risk factor. A vascular surgeon shared that he often sees an uptick in elderly patients with clotting issues during hot summer months, and he always asks about their watermelon intake. It's a hidden culprit. You feel like you're doing something healthy, but you could be setting the stage for a serious vascular event. This is why our Senior Wise journey emphasizes looking beyond the obvious. This senior health tip is a perfect example of elderly wisdom that can help you protect your life health after 62nd by understanding the subtle effects of the foods you eat. Part 5. The medication menace, oranges and grapefruit. Approx. 466 words. Oranges and their citrus cousin grapefruit are hailed as champions of vitamin C, the go-to fruits for warding off colds. But deep within their juicy pulp lies a class of compounds called furanocoumarins. These compounds are notorious in the medical world for one specific reason. They interfere with a critical enzyme in your liver and small intestine known as CYP3A4. This enzyme is responsible for metabolizing or breaking down a huge percentage of common medications. We're talking over 50% of them. This includes some of the most widely prescribed drugs for seniors: statins for cholesterol, like Lipitor, calcium channel blockers for blood pressure, like Norvash, and even some anti-anxiety and anticoagulant medications. When you consume an orange or, more potently, a grapefruit, the furanocoumarins essentially block this enzyme from doing its job. This means the medication isn't broken down as it should be. Instead of being processed and excreted, it stays in your bloodstream in much higher concentrations and for much longer than your doctor intended. You might be taking the correct dose, but your body is experiencing it as an overdose. With statins, this can lead to severe muscle pain and kidney damage. With blood pressure medication, it can cause your pressure to drop to dangerously low levels, leading to dizziness, falls, and fainting. The interaction is so significant that many of these medications come with a specific warning label about grapefruit, but the risk also exists with other citrus fruits like Seville oranges, often used in marmalade, and tangelos. This is not just a senior health tip, it's a life-saving piece of elderly wisdom. Always talk to your pharmacist about potential food interactions. It's a vital step in managing your life health after 62nd, and a core part of our mission on Senior Wise Journey. Part 6. The Sugar Trap, Modern Apples. Approx 466 words. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. This phrase is etched into our collective consciousness. But the apple of our grandparents' generation is not the apple we find in supermarkets today. Over the last 50 years, apples have been selectively bred to be bigger, prettier, and most importantly, much sweeter. Varieties like Honeycrisp, Fuji, and Gala are incredibly high in sugar, specifically fructose. A single large, sweet apple can have as much sugar as a donut. While apples do contain fiber, which helps slow down sugar absorption, the sheer volume of sugar in these modern varieties can still overwhelm the system of an older adult. Just like with grapes, this leads to a rapid blood sugar spike. For someone with insulin resistance or type 2 diabetes, this is obviously problematic. But even for seniors without a diabetes diagnosis, these repeated sugar surges and subsequent crashes take a toll. They contribute to chronic inflammation, which we know is a root cause of almost every age-related disease, from arthritis to heart disease and even Alzheimer's. Furthermore, this blood sugar roller coaster affects your blood pressure. The spikes can cause temporary increases in blood pressure and vascular stress. Over time, this can weaken blood vessel walls, making them more susceptible to damage and blockages. A geriatric specialist noted, "I advise my patients to think of sweet apples as a treat. If they want to eat an apple daily, I steer them towards smaller, tartar varieties like Granny Smith, which are lower in sugar and higher in beneficial polyphenols." This is a perfect example of the nuanced elderly wisdom we need today. It's a senior health tip that adapts timeless advice to modern realities, helping you truly protect your life health after 62nd on your Senior Wise Journey. Part 7. The Bleeding Risk. Cherries. Approx 466 words. Cherries, both sweet and tart, are often celebrated for their anti-inflammatory properties and their ability to help with gout and arthritis. They are packed with powerful antioxidants called anthocyanins. However, they also contain a hidden compound that everyone on blood-thinning medication needs to know about: salicylates. Salicylate is the natural compound from which aspirin was derived. It is a potent, natural blood thinner. For most people, the amount in a handful of cherries is harmless. But for a senior who is already taking a prescribed blood thinner, be it a daily low-dose aspirin, warfarin, Plavix, or a newer anticoagulant like Eliquis or Xarelto, eating a significant amount of cherries can be like taking a double dose of their medication without realizing it. This is called a synergistic effect, where the two substances together have a much greater impact than either one alone. This can thin the blood to a dangerous degree, leading to a condition called coagulopathy, where the blood's ability to clot is severely impaired. The risks are significant: spontaneous nosebleeds, bruising from the slightest bump, and the most frightening of all, an increased risk of a hemorrhagic stroke or bleeding in the brain. A hematologist I spoke with called this one of the most overlooked food-drug interactions. Patients often don't think to mention their fruit consumption to their doctors, but it can be a critical piece of the puzzle. This is why the Senior Wise journey is so important. Sharing this kind of detailed senior health tip and elderly wisdom is essential for safeguarding your life health after 62nd. Part 8. The inflammatory trigger, strawberries. Approx 466 words. Strawberries are another beloved fruit, a symbol of spring, and a favorite in desserts and smoothies. They are rich in vitamin C and flavonoids. But commercially grown strawberries have a dark side. They consistently top the Dirty Dozen list, a guide to produce with the highest pesticide residues. Older bodies are often less efficient at detoxifying and eliminating these chemicals, which can contribute to a higher toxic load over time, potentially impacting neurological and hormonal health. But there's a more immediate risk for some seniors: gout. Gout is a painful form of inflammatory arthritis, and while it's often associated with red meat and alcohol, certain fruits can also be triggers. Strawberries, while not as high in purines as meat, can still trigger a gout flare-up in sensitive individuals. This intense inflammatory response is not just localized to a joint like the big toe. A gout attack signifies a state of massive, systemic inflammation throughout the entire body. This systemic inflammation is incredibly dangerous for your cardiovascular system. It can destabilize existing plaque in your arteries, causing it to rupture and form a clot, leading to a heart attack or stroke. Furthermore, some non-organically grown strawberries can harbor microscopic mold, which can also be a potent inflammatory trigger. An immunologist emphasized, "For my patients with any inflammatory condition, I advise extreme caution with non-organic strawberries." This is a crucial senior health tip. Managing inflammation is a cornerstone of healthy aging, and this elderly wisdom helps protect your life health after 62nd. It's a vital part of our Senior Wise journey. Part 9. The metabolic disruptor, mangoes. Approx 466 words. Finally, let's talk about the king of fruits, the mango. This tropical delight is undeniably delicious, but it is one of the highest sugar fruits you can eat. A single mango can pack a staggering 45 grams of sugar. For a senior's metabolism, this is a massive sugar load that sends blood glucose levels into the stratosphere, even more so than grapes or sweet apples. This extreme spike places immense strain on the pancreas and contributes significantly to inflammation and the risk of clot formation. Beyond the sugar, mangoes can also interfere with liver metabolism, similar to how grapefruit does, though through different pathways. The liver is our primary detoxification organ, and it's also where many medications are processed. For seniors, who are often on multiple prescriptions, a situation known as polypharmacy, adding a substance that can disrupt liver function is a risky proposition. It can alter how medications for blood pressure, diabetes, or cholesterol are metabolized, leading to either reduced effectiveness or increased toxicity. A geriatric pharmacist shared a cautionary tale about a patient whose blood sugar was uncontrollably high despite being on medication. The culprit? A daily healthy mango smoothie he was making? He had no idea this single fruit was completely undermining his treatment plan. This story perfectly encapsulates the mission of Senior Wise Journey. It's about uncovering these hidden dangers and providing you with the elderly wisdom and senior health tips you need to make informed decisions. True wellness in our later years isn't about restriction. It's about smart substitution and a deep understanding of how to care for your body. It is the key to a vibrant life health after 62nd. Conclusion? Approx 200 words, 1 minute. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Is fruit now the enemy? Absolutely not. The message today is one of mindfulness, not fear. It's a call to embrace a higher level of elderly wisdom when it comes to our diet. The key is moderation, variety, and choosing smarter options. Opt for lower sugar fruits like berries, lemons, avocados, and the occasional tart green apple. Pay attention to portion sizes, a handful, not a giant bowl. And most importantly, have an open conversation with your doctor or pharmacist about your diet and the medications you take. Your health journey after 60 is unique, and you are the captain of your ship. Armed with the right knowledge, you can navigate these waters safely and joyfully. We hope these senior health tips have empowered you to look at your fruit bowl with a new, wiser perspective, ensuring your life health after 62nd is as vibrant as possible. Thank you for joining us on this Senior Wise journey. If you found this information valuable, please give this video a like, share it with friends and family who could benefit, and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more essential insights for your golden years.